just put these on so I can get all these facts and figures out to you. This story just broke midweek. We're all aware of the collapse of the regional sports network, Ballet Sports, Diamond Sports, all these clubs losing their chunk of their TV money. All started 2 years ago with what happened to the Padres. We all have talked on this podcast about Rob Manfred's idea about going to at one point he was calling it Team 30. They wanted the streaming rights to all major league teams, but that's not going to happen because the Yankees and the Mets, the Red Sox and the Dodgers, who have their own successful regional networks, are not giving them back to baseball. But Rob Manfred has a game plan that's targeting for 2028. The baseball TV contracts expire everywhere after 2027. Manfred's game plan, his blueprint, is to secure the streaming rights for the other 25 teams, then package them and go to the streaming kingpins in the industry. That's Amazon, DirecTV, Apple, and Network, and come up with a universal baseball streaming program in which you can pay and access and get your team with no blackouts whatsoever. So that's the big game plan. Now, that does not occur till after the 2027 TV contracts expire. They believe that this will be dynamic in terms of revenue streams. They're basing it on TV viewership has rocketed, team attendance has continued to go up, and at the same time, if everything is moved to the front to all the people who stream, baseball reserves the right to do specialty things with ESPN, Fox, and TBS. They could still keep, and the specialty things involve all-star games, playoff qualifying games, wild card games, and specialty weekends, interleague play matchups. That's what might show up on ESPN, Fox, and TBS. So behind the scenes, as the whole mess with Diamond Sports was falling apart and then they tried to rebuild it, baseball's been creating this blueprint of what they think this is going to work in 2028. And what they would do, this would also create a full revenue pie, and it would be split equally amongst the 25 teams that are part of the super streaming package that Manfred wants to launch in 2028. It would not be the Mariners get whatever the Mariners can get, and the Dodgers have their package, and the Yankees or the Red Sox on NESN. But the other 25 in the streaming, it'd be equal. And where'd that model come from? National Football League.
Yeah. Well, they figured it out. I mean, this is a good idea.
It's novel. It's going to be interesting to see, because baseball does not believe Diamond Sports is going to survive, even though they're going to operate this coming season in 2025 with a limited number of teams. So that's where we are on the baseball TV thing. By 2028, I think this whole landscape is going to look different. Second baseball topic, Tampa Bay. Rob Manfred sounded off at the owners' meeting yesterday. He will not allow the Tampa Bay Rays to have any discussion with any city about relocating. Not to Montreal, not to Nashville, not to Portland, Charlotte, Memphis, or anybody else that wants Major League Baseball. He says, we are stepping into the middle of this Tampa Bay Stadium situation on behalf of the fans on the Sun Coast. He says he's willing to give the city of St. Petersburg the calendar year of 2025 to figure out the financing. Now, Tampa Bay's got a huge problem because the owner now has gone public. Stuart Sternberg wrote a letter this week saying our new stadium's in jeopardy. We've lost our partner. We've lost the city. We've lost the county. They, of course, were going to help co-fund the new stadium in St. Petersburg on the other side of the bridge. St. Petersburg and the county have both tabled proposals to put their money into the pool so Sternberg could get the stadium built. It's about $700 million total in civic funds. Sternberg is paying $1.3 billion of his own money to make this work. But because Sternberg said everything is now in jeopardy because of the cancellation of the votes and the fact he said we no longer have these people as our partners in the project, Rob Manfred has interceded. He's going to give St. Petersburg one full calendar year from this week till a year from today to figure out the financing. To St. Petersburg, are you going to fix that dome stadium, St. Petersburg and Pinellas County, are you going to put your money back into the pot for the brand new Suncoast Dome that they want to build? Now, there's a sidebar issue. Sternberg goes public and says, we've lost our partnership. City said, you got 3 years left on your lease. Sternberg says, if you're not putting money in to fix Tropicana Field right now, you breach the lease and my team becomes a free agent. Manfred says, we'll give them a year to figure out what they're going to do financially. Says you can't talk to Montreal, you can't talk to Nashville at this point in time. So that's the update on the Tampa Bay Rays. And John's a proponent that how dare some rich man ask for civic funds to build any type of facility. But that's where we are still to a degree in the world of sports. Your reaction to where Tampa Bay is?
Well, first of all, you know that they didn't stop talking to Montreal. There's still back channels. There are still people talking about this sort of thing. But it is a valid point that you brought up, is if the city doesn't fix the roof, that's a breach of the lease. So I think they've got a legitimate beef there. Because, I mean, or else give them a discount on the rent or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is just a mess there. But do you think MLB really can work in Florida, or we've all just been fooled by this?
Well, they've tried, Now the Marlins have this shiny new stadium. Still nobody's going to Marlins games because they got a crap owner that won't spend any money. Now Sternberg has had a good organization, has put really good teams on the field, but they don't draw. That's the shocker of it all, that side of the Sunshine State, with all those retirees from the Northeast, don't come to see the Rays play. Their TV ratings are through the roof.
Right.
Phenomenal. But it may be a byproduct of where the Tropicana Field Suncoast Dome is. No parking on the one side of the bridge. The new thing is in what is going to be called the Gaslight District, which will be a huge entertainment develop on the other side of the St. Petersburg-Tampa Bridge. Lots of parking. So I think there's a big picture here, and the commissioner doesn't want to destroy the potential of the big picture at this point in time. But as St. Petersburg's mayor and the city council said last week, we have to spend our money to fix the water systems destroyed by the two hurricanes.
Yeah.
We've got bridges to repair, got all this other stuff, and baseball stadium, that's not quite priority compared to all the other things on the list. So I think there's a lot of truth in what's being said. So Manfred has kind of interjected and interceded. He says, Rays are going to play at Legends Field, Steinbrenner Stadium in Tampa. That'll be your 11,000 seat home for all the games. We saw that. Let St. Petersburg figure themselves out, and then we'll address what needs to be addressed going forward. I just don't know that baseball works in Tampa because nobody's ever responded, despite the fact that the product has been pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd sure love to see a franchise back in Montreal because I think the whole business climate in the province of Quebec and the dollar difference between U.S. and Canadian dollars is now so different. And Montreal's become a, quote, bigger regional area. I'd love to see, quote, the Expos go back there. Okay, I'm done preaching. You done?
I think I'm done. Yeah. I mean, it seems like Rob Manfred's like one crisis at a time.
Yeah, he's solved. No, he didn't actually solve the Oakland A's crisis, but the Oakland A's are playing Sacramento. But he says this Vegas stadium will get built. Okay, I'll believe that when I see it. But now the Oakland mess has been replaced by this Tampa mess, this God-given mess because of the hurricane damage to Tropicana Field. It's a stunning story. Okay, we go from that.